Happy New Year, everybody. Another year of regular season football is in the history books. Another 18 weeks gone, just like that. Chicago finished with a 5-12 record, worst in the NFC North. And I'm not trying to rub salt in the wound, but every team in the NFC North made it to the playoffs except the Bears. It's a very Chicago Bears thing of them to do. When you look at the draft picks they've had 3 first-round QBs drafted since 2017. That's Trubisky, Fields, and now Caleb Williams. And I'll get to Caleb in a moment. I thought Chicago's defense was going to be a top 5 defense. But on paper, they came in at the number 25 spot in the NFL. That defense gave up an average of 353 yards a game this year. When I saw those numbers, I almost couldn't believe it. Those are not fantastic numbers. The Bears also fired their head coach in the middle of the season. First time they've ever done that. Yeah, that shows promise that things are heading in the right direction when you let go of your head coach middle of the season. I can't imagine really a worse situation than letting go of your head coach middle of the year. I don't think that's you're doing too hot as a franchise when you're making decisions like that. Thomas Brown is the first Bears head coach to beat Green Bay in the past 6 years. They've beat us the last 11 times we've matched up against them. 6 years of football is a lot of football, folks. Now, I'm happy for Thomas to get a win as an interim head coach against a rival like Green Bay. That's really cool, and I'm happy for him. So I guess we'll move on to Caleb. When you look at other QBs out of his draft class, you look at Jaden Daniels, you look at Bo Nix, you look at Drake May, all 3 of those quarterbacks, what they have in common is they did better than Caleb Williams this year. Period. Drake May wasn't fantastic, but Drake May also wasn't the starter for New England the whole season, and he still finished with a better QBR. A little bit of a handicap, but look at something I want to point out here. Jaden Daniels plays for the Washington Commanders. He had a better year statistically. He's a more proficient passer. They're in the playoffs. Bo Nix had a better year statistically, just more proficient as a passer, better QBR. Their team, the Denver Broncos, are also in the playoffs. There isn't really too much more to say here. I understand people are a fan of Caleb Williams, but he's not going to bring Chicago to the promised land, is all I'm saying. I'm not a big fan of Caleb. If you are, I'm sorry. Caleb, it's not like Caleb doesn't have weapons. You've got Keenan Allen. You've got DJ Moore and Rome Odunze. You had a good enough offensive line, and you couldn't get the job done. Aaron Rodgers, who's 40 years old as of making this video, finished the year with more passing yards and touchdowns and a much better QBR than Caleb Williams did. I thought Chicago was going to be a lot better this year. I wanted to give Caleb a chance, but I just don't really see the team any better off than they were with Ryan Pace or Matt Nagy. When you look at the past 10 years of football, they've only been over 500 3 out of the past 10 years. All 3 of those seasons were under Matt Nagy and the Ryan Pace era. And that was when Mitchell Trubisky was the quarterback. Chicago Bears finished dead last in offense this year. They ranked 32nd as an offensive unit. They were just a bad ball club this year. And typically when things are so dysfunctional, you don't see major turnarounds. I'm not saying it's impossible, but I don't see any major corrections coming in 2025. Obviously they're going to have to make a decision on head coach. I don't know who that's going to be. You could speculate John Gruden, but I'll be honest with you. When you look at John Gruden's track record, it never really ends well wherever he is. There's a lot of drama when he was the head coach over there at the Raiders. So I don't think that's a decision that Chicago is going to make. If they make a risky move like that, I'm not going to put it past them. And if that's what they do, then that's what they do. What am I going to do about it? But I just don't see. I don't see John Gruden being the next head coach. As interesting as that would be, I'm sure the media would just eat that shit up. There's news that Keenan Allen might already be gone, depending on who Chicago hires as their next head coach. I will say this, we still got DJ Moore and Rome Odunze under contract, so I guess that's a good thing. Ending the year with a win against Green Bay is, that's really cool. I'm happy about that. I'm happy for the team, and they stayed in the fight, and that's what you want to see out of a football club. But, I did expect a lot more out of this team this year. You never know with these teams. You never know with any season, like how things are going to turn out. We're going into the playoffs. There's also a lot of speculation there. I already told you who I think it's going to be Kansas City and Detroit. I really don't see anybody stopping Kansas City from going after that three-peat. And then I really don't see anybody stepping up to the plate and beating the Lions when it matters. So, but we're gonna see. It's crazy. We're already in the playoffs. I feel like the the season just started. But guys, that's going to do it for this video. If you liked it, hit the thumbs up, talk shit down in the comments. Until the next one, I'm out of here.